Ghana football is sinking, we need to save it was the message on the lips of every Ghanaian football enthusiast. But about 9 months later, it seems the ship has sunk deeper as the Black Stars are now on the verge of not qualifying for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. After 4 games in the qualifiers, Ghana have drawn 2 games and lost 2 games. When it gets uglier like this, we need to sit down with experts and get their in-depth analysis and opinion on the situation. So, on this episode of GhanaWeb Sports Check, I'm going to talk with one of the renowned journalists in the country, award-winning Saddick Adams. I'm Emmanuel Enin, and I'm glad to have Saddick Adams on the show today. Welcome, Saddick.
Thank you very much, Emma.
I started with Black Stars, so that's where we are going to start off from. How did we get here?
Well, it's been coming for some years now. At least the last decade has seen a very palpable decline in the graph. You could clearly see from the downward spiral since AFCON 2014. AFCON 2015, actually, when we got to the finals in Equatorial Guinea, we've been sinking. We got to the quarterfinals and then got to the round of 16 in Egypt. We got to the group stage in Cameroon and group stage in Ivory Coast. Clearly, this should tell you that there is no spiritual connotation to it. We've just been descending because we've not had a foundation to rest on. When you get to the point where you need to face players out there, need to be new players in the team. So we are here because we've not had a plan since the phase of ACN and Co started getting out.
So you are attributing the problem to not having a plan. Of course. Do you believe in some people's assertion that coaching is really the problem and not having a plan or foundation or anything?
Coaching is a problem, but in a broader sense, coaching can only be a problem because we are not having a lot of coaches to train quality players. So it's not the coach of the Black Stars. The coach of the Black Stars is only a manager. You don't teach Sule Muntari or Kudus how to kick a ball. So the coaching problem is from the base, from the league, from the Division 1, from the under 17, under 20. This is where you need to train players to be better when they get to the Black Stars level. The Black Stars coaches barely do any magic when you have a strong team. Milovan Rajavac was not an exceptional coach, but he met a very strong team. He just needed to do a little bit of touch, discipline, tactics, and whatever. But if you want to build a strong national team, you start from the base. And that's where we don't have quality coaches to do that over the years. So with the Black Stars, I think it's not a problem of Otuado. We've brought 6 coaches in 5 years. We've not resolved it. It's not a club side, and so you cannot keep getting players into the team like you are going on a market scene to purchase players like the clubs do. With the national team, you make do with what you have. That's exactly what I'm saying. So we have a coaching problem, but not the coaching problem at the Black Stars. If it was at the Black Stars, the 6 changes would have at least occasioned some change. Nothing has happened.
Someone will also argue that if you look at our last 6 coaches that we've appointed, we've not appointed any top-class coach. That's the reason why we are here today.
The problem is that what's the definition of a top-class coach? Ghana has never appointed a top-class coach bar Avram Grant, who could not win any trophy for the team. So I would think that Chris Hughton, in his context, is a top-class coach. Any coach who has coached in the Premier League is a top-class coach. So we have done that. We have gone for mediocre, we have gone for top-class coach. None of it is working. So you cannot attribute it to coaching. It is purely managerial and lack of a talent pool that we have to build into a team. We have the talent, but lack of the organization and planning to put them, because the coaches will only add managerial aspect of it, managing the players' ego, managing their lifestyle, managing what they do and tactics. But you know, it's become the refrain in Ghana. Everybody wants to talk about coach. Once they beat your team as a coach, they don't even look at the other circumstances. So I understand people when they want to blame a coach. And I understand even people in GFA when they want to blame a coach. I understand people in government when they want to blame a coach, because that's the easiest target. But the problem is with those people.
So it seems you are emphasizing on the transition of our players and coaches. If you compare to how things are being done right now under this administration and the previous administration, what do you think is the changes and that's causing the downfall of the team right now?
Well, so the previous administration, you get to a point when the national team is declining. There are two options I always maintain, that you either fall back on your under-20 team, which is the next available team after the Black Stars, or you rely on the local players. We have done both. Ghana had gone domestic sometime. In 2001, we went with an entirely local team to play Nigeria in a World Cup qualifier because we could not put together our foreign-based guys. They were reluctant. Some of them had become nonchalant to national team call-ups. We went to Nigeria to draw with local-based players. Ghana has also relied on under-20 in 2004, 2002 when we went to Mali. We relied on an under-20 core of the Rebuate, Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari, John Painstil, Razak Pimpon, Razak Ibrahim, Adukwe Papo, all of them from under-20. So we have done both. In this instance, when Ghana wants to rely on under-20, who are we going to rely on? Do you know of our under-20 team and who has the capacity in that team to play in the Black Stars?
People will mention Jerry every.
And who else? Even the Jerry Efriye will not break into the Black Stars team. He's not like Kojo Asamoah. He's not like Andre Ayew. He's not like Rabiu. He's not like those players who have played at the top level to break into the Black Stars. He's a good player, but he's not at that level. Because Michael Essien and co had played at the Under-20 African Cup and World Cup. Jerry hasn't done that yet. He's only playing in Wafu and the others. He needs to play the AFCON, make a mark, play at the World Cup under-20. This is where you get the transition. So we don't have under-20, we don't have a local. Who in the local league do you think can play in the Black Stars at this point? So all the two options are shaky. That's where you can clearly observe that there's a big problem for us.
Okay, so with the trajectory and you hitting on the transition and everything, you were one of the conveners of the Save Ghana football demonstration. With where the team is right now, not on the verge of not qualifying, do you sit back and say you've been vindicated for fighting for a right cause? Well, seeing it beforehand.
Vindication is in the womb of time, and time has actually occurred. But I don't see this as a vindication, really. I see it more of a graph and performance that is showing. So the chicken have finally come home to roost. This was coming, and when a woman is pregnant, there is only one outcome. I don't think we are vindicated, because everybody knows, unless of course you are in Ghana and you don't follow sports. Everybody who follows sports knows that we were getting here. So I don't think it's a vindication, because we knew that we will get here. After 2 group stage exits at the AFCON, where else will you be? The only place is not to qualify, because you are struggling to play against the weakest teams in the group. So if they meet you at the qualifiers, you struggle. That's where we are now. So it was coming. We were vindicated years back.
Right. So looking at the Save Ghana football demonstration that you led, if somebody wants an update on it, are we getting towards to getting the people or the hierarchy or the government implement some of the things you signed in the petition?
Well, we presented a petition. We waited for months before Parliament invited us. We have gone to Parliament. We have put forth the petition and elaborated it extensively. Parliament called us over last week that they are putting together the report. So we are just waiting for the report. Parliament is putting together the report. We are just waiting for the report to see what is contained in that report and how far that can go to change the fortunes of Ghana football. So we have done our part. The update is that Parliament is putting together a report, and we can promise that very soon there will be a report on the performance of the Black Stars and our national teams in general. And we can read it publicly, access it, and see what it contains, if it actually carries the intent and the purpose for which we did the demonstration.
All right, and I think it's been a pretty good conversation and insight, getting what I mean, the current administration is doing wrong and what was being done right and where the team is right now. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation with Saddick Adams. Welcome back from the break. We are still having an in-depth conversation with Saddick Adams to get what's happening or regarding the situation of the Black Stars. Saddick, one of the most topics that came out of our qualifiers, the last 2 games against Sudan, and then was the captaincy issue. Do you think as a country we've learned anything from what happened previous years?
Well, with the Black Stars captaincy, I find it quite troubling that it's always a topic. I don't find any trouble with it, but because of the history of the captaincy issues, Otuado has come in. He has changed the captaincy structure. For Otuado, it is Thomas Partey, his captain, Deputy Alexander Jiku, and then Mohamed Kudus. So Kudus was only made the captain of the game against Sudan purely because Alexander Jiku was being punished per my investigations. So I don't think there's an issue now because Jordan Ayew has not said he wants to be a captain, and he's not even part of the structure that Otuado has set up. So it is Partey, Jiku, and then Kudus.
So going forward, what should we do to avoid these sort of wahala surrounding our captaincy?
Yeah, so I don't think the captaincy conversation is ever going to end. Like I said, I don't find any issue. The coach decided to give the captaincy to Kudus. He didn't explain why Jiku was sidestepped or sidelined for Kudus. And we did our investigation and found out that Jiku was being punished for misconduct, according to the coach. That's why they gave to say the next time Thomas Partey is not there, it will be Jiku. That's if the coach has gone back to him as a deputy captain. What we need to do is that we need to be communicating well with the public, because the slightest miscommunication, then you have a problem. People are complaining because Jordan is gesticulating with Coach Wesiapia. People think that he's talking about captaincy or that. So it may be the issue. The issue is that Jordan Ayew will not be happy that the captaincy, he's not part. Whether he's happy or not, he will complain about it. But it's the coach who chooses the captain. But what we need to do is that we need to communicate effectively, that the public knows who the captain is. So if he's not there, this person comes. Jiku is the deputy captain. So if Jiku is there and Kudus is the captain, what is the explanation to the public? Communication is very key.
And one other topic was Thomas Partey turning down a call-up due to illness, as Arsenal said. What do you think the implications will have on, what do you think will be the implication on the team, given that the captain himself declined call-up under mysterious conditions?
I don't know the mischief in there. He said he's sick. We have not found any medical reports. He said he's sick. He was called to come up for medical inspection by the Ghana team. He did not turn up. It is quite worrying that our captain is refusing to come, but we also have to understand him. This is the time that he needs to get his fitness well, get his position in the club. But it was a very crucial game. I think that, but for the injury, he would have needed him. We have to leave that to the team doctors. But Otuado needs to be firm, because some of the players are purely not happy. And Partey's attitude of not turning up for that medical examination by the Ghana team is purely, one of it. He would have ordinarily come, but we don't know his medical condition. But he would have, if there was no issue, he would have come for that inspection. I don't think it augurs well, and maybe other players are going to follow suit. and then decide that they don't turn up for a call-up. When they are invited for medical checkup, they don't, because there is a precedent that they are following from the captain. We need to find a solution to the supposed apathy. We need to find a solution to the players not eager to join the national, no edge for them to join the national team. We need to find a solution.
You mentioned that some players are not happy. Can you go into that?
That's exactly what we saw. Jordan. We've seen the frustration with Kudus. We've seen Partey. They are players. You clearly can see that there is a lot of I don't know, but misapprehension in the team because they are not winning also. Yeah, you see that there are players who complain. You saw the GFA president blasting them.
For me,
the same things that he said.
To join you, I'm saying, to remind
can
all
see
of
from
us
them that they are not giving their
who
effort.
we are.
When you are happy,
the need for all of us to always remember that we are Ghanaians.
We clearly can see that they are not happy playing. That's why
we are here.
They are not happy playing for the national team. Right. Some of them are not happy playing for the national team. Right.
Yeah. I get from the Sudan game, we've discussed the two games, and from what people were saying from the two games, the goals we conceded in Accra, the goals we couldn't score, some people have attributed it to spiritism, that the Black Stars is spiritless right now.
There's no spirit. There's nothing. It's got nothing to do with spirits. We are just not too good. It's got absolutely nothing to do with spirits. If we had scored 4, nobody would be talking about spirits. We made so many chances against Egypt in Kumasi in October 2013, but we scored 6-1. So nobody is talking about the missed chances. We are just not good enough. Nobody is working against the team spiritually. They are just not good enough. Which spirit can block your opportunities of beating Sudan and Niger and Angola? What spirit will Central African Republic? There's no spirit. The team is just not good, and we have seen it across board. They are just not good enough.
So speaking about not being good enough, we have 2 games left. We need Sudan to lose both games, then win our next 2 games before we qualify. Do you think there is a chance for us to qualify? Indeed, there is a chance, but do you think Ghana will qualify?
Well, the chances is just 2%, and you can. Yeah, we don't have the destiny in our hands, so we are relying on somebody. No, so what's the guarantee that even if Sudan loses their 2 matches, we are going to win? You just need them to lose all their 2 matches at home. What's the guarantee that
like Niger in Ghana?
Why are we waiting our games in Ghana? We drew against Sudan, we lost against Angola, so Niger drawing here is a possibility. Yeah, I don't think that you don't have our destiny in our hands. So it is just 2% is 99% faith or 98% faith, 2% chance. I don't think we can beat Angola in Luanda with this performance. Even though on a good day, the Black Stars can beat any national team on the continent. But with the performance that I've seen in the last 3 games, 4 games, I don't think that we can beat Angola there. And I don't think we can convincingly beat Niger here. Yeah, so granted, Kwesi Appiah has lost all the 2 goals, granted. Go and win for yourself. You can't. So the qualification there, it will be very tough.
It seems we've been talking about the sad part of Black Stars and all that. You've followed the team for a long time now. If you sit back, what's your fondest moment you've had with the Black Stars since you followed the team?
It's been a long time, but obviously 2010 World Cup will be on the top of it. 2010 World Cup will continue to be edged in our minds for a long time. We had never been there before, beating big teams in the world and the last-minute penalty against Uruguay. That was top. And one of the proudest moments for me also was covering the Ghana versus Egypt game, beating them by 6-1 in the return leg, losing 2-1. That is the worst scoreline for Egypt in their history. And that day it was impressive. I have never felt, because the goals kept coming. 6-1, and these were players that we have known for so long. So that performance against Egypt, and of course 2010 World Cup. And you can go back into history and a whole lot of them, but I believe that the 2006 World Cup was also the highlight of it. And I practically followed all the qualifiers in Kumasi against Cape Verde and Samadi, Mariano Barreto coming back against Burkina Faso when we went there to beat them they beat us 1-0 in there with Sami Kofor's shoulder tagged in. The return leg in Kumasi when we beat them by 2-1. The big score line against South Africa was in the stadium that day, 3-0. The first time we beat South Africa in over 2 decades in Kumasi. That was the score line that changed. And of course, the big game at the FMB, that 2-0 with the introduction of Vuvuzelas into the Ghanaian lexicon. You know, these were games that you can never forget as a supporter. Also covering the AFCON. I've seen so many games that it will throw you off as a supporter. Yeah, but obviously we have descended too low. I think the last time we did perform well was in Equatorial Guinea when we went to the final. But I don't remember the last time we've played a very good game, even in the World Cup also. But the qualification to the World Cup in 2006, qualification to the World Cup in 2010, and the World Cup in 2010 itself. And of course, qualification to 2014, especially the game against Zambia and Egypt. These were moments that you feel proud as a Ghanaian, but I pity those who are following the Black Stars from 2020. Yeah, I'm not sure you've had any good moments yet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Talking about people not having any good moments yet, we've seen a viral video of you crashing out during the 2023 AFCON. How was that moment also like?
Yeah, I personally believe that that was the lowest we've gotten to. Yeah. And my main point at that, I just felt hopeless, you know. I've been telling you, I follow the Black Stars with my heart. Yeah. I'm not a journalist when it comes to the Black Stars. I come to the AFCON teasing other African journalists. So that video was shot by when we get to the three terraces. We were leading 2-0, so I was going to the pre-match, post-match conference. I came to the first terrace, they equalized 1. I couldn't understand, but we had 2 minutes left. Yeah. Then I came down, I was descending, then they had a corner. No, they had a shot that Ufori touched, and I didn't see that he had touched it until we watched TV. I said, why will you go and touch this ball? So watching the game from the stands, you will see that he touched, because we just saw that he raised his hand like he was innocent until the replay showed that he had actually touched the ball. Then I started shaking because the way he was shivering and shaking when the ball passed by him, I knew that there was disaster. So when I descended, I was going for post-match. We were celebrating qualification. Then they got the goal. So all your hopes dashed. You are now going to pack your bag. Because when you left the hotel, you didn't anticipate that the team will crash out against Mozambique. But the night before, one of the Black Stars players had sent me a message that the camp is not looking good. So he doesn't feel that they will qualify. The condition in camp, he doesn't think that they will qualify. I said, no, Master, don't joke. We have to qualify for the next stage. So when it happened, he was the first person who came to mind. And the video, I didn't see the guys shooting the video. I knew that they were taking a video of me reacting. But then, I am a fan. I'm not a journalist. The report objectively and supporting them. You don't have an option to see. So it hits me. That's that one. And the penalty shootout against Equatorial Guinea, against Ivory Coast. Those two. Yeah, I remember Senegal 92, but this one hits because they lost 2, and then...
You were a journalist who cut across if you are to advise a young journalist, what advice would you give him or her?
Well, I think the best thing to do in this job is to continuously learn anything, experiences, travel around, anything. Travel around doesn't mean going on foreign travels. I have watched games from all the league centers in Ghana, or majority of them, from a young age. As far back as 2003, I was traveling around Tamale to watch games, and these are things that you will never miss. When you become, at a point when you are no more interested in the job, you will sit back and you remember Caladan Park, you remember Kwabi Brain Park, you remember Okou Park, you remember Dance Park, you remember Waterloo Park, you remember Gapoha Park. The incidents that happened there, the things that you see on the road, you will never have anything with money to buy. I think the best thing that any journalist can do is to experience new things and learn a lot, and also not compromise on your integrity. That's the only thing we sell as journalists. When you compromise on your integrity and credibility, nobody takes you serious again. Because a lot of allegations will come, but if you are not careful and one or two of it, you lay credence to them, you are finished. So integrity and also experiences. Even if you don't have money, don't have a lorry fare to come back. The one you have to go, if it's a football match, go to Tema, watch it. You have, and I pity people who are following Ghana football from 2015 or 20, because you don't feel what the league is. Yeah, these are things that I advise any young journalist to feel.
We are coming to the end of the conversation, but you mentioned that you've been covering the league since 2003. What's the scariest thing you've encountered?
I think Caladan in 2003 and Brekum. Sometimes in venues like that, Kumasi too, there have been very serious issues there. All the centers, but I think Caladan, Kotoko.
What happened?
Well, the hell broke loose. The referee abandoned the game and fled, and the supporters were chasing him. We were young then, and one of the so the game was abandoned. That's when the Caladan Park. There was no inner perimeter there. Okay. So supporters are just watching by the touchline. They can just go and slap a footballer and come back. They can catch the ball and wait. So a whole lot of fun then. And also I traveled to Kwabi Brain in 2005 May to watch Kotoko, not Kwabi Brain, Kade Hospice, Kade. We nearly had an accident on the road following Kotoko then, and that was one of the scariest to me. But we were all saved at the end of the day. A whole lot of things have happened in the league, yeah.
So the Caladan Park, is it still active?
Yeah, Caladan is still there, but if you ask anybody who's followed the Ghana League about Caladan Park, if you go and win at Caladan Park, you win the league. Kotoko were drawing there. I think, so they scored the second goal or so. I've forgotten the incident, but if you win at Caladan Park, you win the league. Yeah.
All right. So it's been an exciting conversation with Saddick Adams, a renowned journalist, and to get in-depth analysis or opinions on what's going on with the Black Stars. And we've had a long conversation. He has advised young journalists, and we've had shared some of his moments covering the Ghana Premier League. Of course, it's not like his days where 2003, where you go on the road and you see a lot of things. The intensity and everything has come down, but still, he has advised that, yes, as a young journalist, you have to follow the league. And, of course, you get some stories out of it. This is GhanaWeb Sports Check. My name is Emmanuel Enin. Saddick, thanks for making time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I hope you have another conversation next
Definitely. Always available.
The Black Stars will qualify.
No, it's difficult, but let's hope. Yeah.
I'm 100%
Only a miracle. Only a miracle. Miracles don't happen in football nowadays. So.
So see you in the next episode. My name is Emmanuel Enin.